now. For those in my bedroom and anime fans watching all around the world, this is the moment you have been waiting for. Live from the sold-out Rear Palace in Kao Province, it's time! 4 rounds in the Slothy SETI Source versus Show division. Introducing first, fighting out of the Source Corner with a MAL score of 8.35 and an overall ranking of 225, written by Hyuga Natsu and illustrated by Shino Toka, Pharmacist's Soliloquy. And now introducing their opponent, fighting out of the Show Corner with a MAL score of 8.65 and an overall ranking of 75, adapted by OLM in collaboration with Toho Animation Studio, the Apothecary Diaries. The rules are simple. I'll go episode by episode and compare what the anime does differently or cuts from the source. Every time the anime does something better, it gets a point. And every time the novel does something better, it gets a point. At the end, the scorecards will be revealed and a winner will be declared. Episode 1, Mao Mao. This opening bit is anime only. It shows us how Mao Mao lived before being kidnapped and how she ended up at the Rear Palace. This scene where Meow Meow helps Xiaolan is anime only and helps to show rather than tell how most of the servant girls are illiterate. Though the anime then tells us anyways. They cut out Meow Meow getting yelled at when delivering this laundry to the shut-in consort and tell us about her instead of doing it like they did with the Xiaolan scene. Today's menu item is soup and porridge with mixed grains. The anime makes it seem like Meow Meow is disinterested in the gossip, but in the novel, Xiaolan shares due to seeing Meow Meow's interest. They also cut Meow Meow rewarding Xiaolan with licorice-flavored tea, a sweet treat that is rare for servant girls. Meow Meow lives in the eastern quarter of the Rear Palace, and typically speaking, a servant girl would have no reason to be wandering about the other parts of the place. So in the novel, Meow Meow uses the excuse of going to see the beautiful eunuch everyone was talking about as an excuse to take up another girl's work and see the babies on our way back. Anime leaves out Meow Meow's observation of Gyoko having no small amount of Western blood in her veins. In the novel, the flower message was noted to have been scrawled with wet grass. These mourning sashes are worn for a week, though most of the serving girls were more upset over their already meager meat servings being cut during the 7 days. Meow Meow's meal that day was soup with the tiniest sliver of a piece of fish. Meow Meow wasn't sitting with Xiaolan, who also wasn't noted to be eating a bun and was instead carrying a laundry basket as a part of her job. The anime showed that it was obvious that her skirt had been resewn, however Meow Meow was careful to hide the seam on the inside in the novel. Meow Meow doesn't brush off Jinshi's hand in the novel, though she is also far less forthcoming about saving the princess in the novel, nor does she ever outright confirm that she was the one who saved her. Meow Meow belongs to the Shang Fu, or Wardrobe Services, one of the 6 Shang, or main offices of employment. She was identified by the color of fabric which belonged to that particular Shang, a key detail that the anime leaves out. This explanation of what happened to Jinshi and Gyokyo is rearranged in the anime, as in the novel it was just a monologue. Overall, episode 1 blends the first 5 chapters to try and tell a more cohesive story, and on some fronts it does. They also change bits that I think actively harms the world building, such as this random bun Xiaolan has given how little food is usually given to serving girls to the point where they're typically never full. They also do this with the seams in Meow Meow's clothing and leaving out how she went about getting to the center of the Rear Palace. Given this is a historical drama, things such as hierarchy are a major factor in the setting, and I believe glossing over it is a pretty big disservice. Alright fighters, back to your corners. With round 1 in the books, the novel is looking great in these opening moments. The anime might have to reevaluate its game plan and come out swinging in the next round, and a reminder to leave a like and subscribe. Episode 2, Chilly Apothecary. Jinshi believes that while it's repugnant that he will readily take advantage of his great looks, it's what gives him value in life. This This hair scene is anime only. So is the tour of the Jade Pavilion, the initial conversation with Gyokyo, and the lady-in-waiting introductory bit. The novel goes into more detail about Miao Miao's new arrangements. She's now considered in the middle ranks alongside her new room, a single sheet for bedding, an actual bed, and her poison tasting job. She's received a massive upgrade from the overcrowded old accommodations, the meager reed mat, and equally meager meals that often left the other, not so thin servants not quite full. Apparently, by the time of the food tasting, the cause of the prince's death hadn't been revealed yet, and the ladies-in-waiting were paranoid about it being in the food Miao Miao was taste testing. Because of Miao Miao's mad scientist behavior, her dad got slandered as people believed that she was being abused by the doctor. The novel goes into detail how Miao Miao is in charge of testing Gyokyo's meals, the baby's meals, and the emperor's when he's around. Server girls from the Shang-Chi or housekeeping service did come to help the ladies-in-waiting every so often. Due to Miao Miao's poison tasting job, as well as her own meals becoming more elaborate, extra sweets from tea time, and no longer working the labor-intensive laundry job, she began to gain weight. The anime shows this well with the pig style. Apparently, Gyokyo is only around 3 years older than Miao Miao. Many villagers were actually killed for resisting arrest during the poisoning debacle, which isn't mentioned in the anime. Jinshi also gets catcalled by male officers in the palace. He likens Miao Miao to a toy and isn't quite as masochistic as the anime may lead one to believe. Distilled spirits and dried fruits and some oils derived from aromatic herbs to give everything a pleasant odor were the ingredients shown in the anime instead of told. The anime is pretty quick with their creation process and doesn't really explain the steps she takes or why. Overall, episode 2 covers 1 fewer chapters than its predecessor, and already the accuracy of it has skyrocketed. They also do a far better job with showing rather than telling in this episode, and adding in world-building moments that are neglected in the novel, such as the tour of the Jade Palace and introducing the 4 ladies-in-waiting, rather than just having their names come up as they're relevant. Time! Back to your corners. With episode 2 in the books, I think the anime might be catching up here. They adapted 1 fewer chapters and it's looking to have made a difference in that round. Let's see if they can continue this game plan into episode 3, The Unsettling Matter of the Spirit. The anime adds in how the emperor is improving the place where his favorite concubine is from. Miao Miao is described as pretty taciturn in the novel, not really speaking unless spoken to and always with the fewest words possible, so her co-workers really didn't know the kind of person she was. They changed it from a slug to a venomous caterpillar. We don't hear any moaning from the bushes like Miao Miao hears in the novel. Overall, this episode is incredibly faithful to the source and does a great job enhancing it, though we never find out how either Miao Miao or the consort get up on the battlements, and it's noted in the novel how Miao Miao has no clue how she got up there, and the anime, Miao Miao is just up there. That's enough. Back to your corners. Wow, that episode went by in a flash. The anime seems to be doubling down on its shorter chapter adaptation strategy, and honestly, I think it's working. It's too early to call who is winning, but it's gotta be close. Episode 4, The Threat. Miao Miao actually gets soaked in porridge, and the ladies-in-waiting demand that she remake the food again, rather than how she's just relentlessly berated in the anime. In the novel, the emperor is denoted as an incredibly handsome man in his mid-30s. This is glossed over in the anime. The bit with Xiaolan is anime only. They also have Miao Miao eating at the Shang Fu cafeteria rather than her normal meals at the Jade Pavilion, though it's likely due to her current task and the complications of eating with the ladies-in-waiting at the Crystal Pavilion. Miao Miao really is a foodie, as she had to hold back from salivating while directing the cook. The novel has Miao speculate that since Li Hua never gets through much of her lavish meals, the ladies in waiting likely eat the leftovers. The nudge in the novel is described to almost topple Miao over, while in the anime it's barely a touch. Miao slapped her as hard as possible to the point where it hurt her own hand. It did hurt Miao to be looked upon as if she were a monster by Li Hua's ladies in waiting due to her warm heart, and while she typically kept to herself, she would easily boil over when angry. In the novel, Miao ridiculed the eunuch in charge to his face for his failure, however nothing really came of it due to his station. Anime does a great job animating Miao's tired face. The confinement bit is anime only. The Miao sleeping scene is anime only. In the novel, she was worried about how Li Hua would look upon her before their forbidden jutsu talk, but came to realize that while she did have her pride, she wasn't arrogant and had manners befitting her station. In the novel, Li Hua describes Gyokyo as having emerald eyes and fiery hair, rather than jade eyes and bright hair. Miao elaborates on Li Hua's assets a bit in the anime. Overall, despite only covering 2 chapters, some details are still left out or changed. Some good, some not so much. At this point, it's anyone's game. That's the match. Now, we go to said buffer for the final decision. Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of analysis, we go to the judges' scorecard for a decision. Slothy said he scores the contest 30-32 for the winner by unanimous decision, the Pharmacist's Soliloquy! Disagree with the scores? Leave yours in the comments below, and watch this video analyzing Free Ren's first 8 episodes next.